Take a look at what I'm working on in the shop today. It's very obvious I'm replacing a front crank seal on an older Mercedes diesel. Now this is a common thing with these old engines just due to the age. And we have a kit on my website with instructions and a special tool on how to do this job yourself. But I was picking up, some real dripping down here on the ground after running the engine, and I thought, well, it's got to be the seal. Well, I'm looking along in here. Usually when the front seal is leaking, you'll see wetness over in this area along, the power steering pump. You'll see wetness over here along the alternator. You may even see wetness on the two rails out here because as that counterbalance shaft is spinning in there and the oil's coming out of the seal, it tends to throw it off to the side. Well, in this case, in this engine, I'm only picking up wetness right in this area, and I'm picking up a lot of dripping on the ground after driving the car for 20 minutes or more. So we decided, okay, we're going to have to pull the seal. We pulled the seal out, and of course it's damaged now, so you can't really tell. We had some wetness right in here, but the seal wasn't hard. You can see it's still quite flexible. And I began to think, man, this is crazy. I've never seen a seal that would leak like this. So, we cleaned the area all up in here real good, and I just came back and look what I'm seeing here. Can you believe that? Now, remember, I cleaned this whole area up and wiped right in here where the seal sits on this cutout in the block in the engine oil pan. And then I'm looking down here and I say, what? Where's this oil coming from? Oh no. Well, I'm thinking, uh-oh. So I stuck my finger right down here and I'm feeling a little wear mark, a little piece of aluminum dropping down, and upon further inspection right in here, I have a hole in the aluminum pan right there, just a very small hole. And you're thinking, wow, I've never seen this before. I've been working on these diesels for over 20 years and I haven't seen this particular problem before. Maybe some of you have, but let me show you what caused this hole right here. If you were to look closely at the location of the hole, it's right here along the edge of the chain. So, I know it's being caused by this chain. Look at how loose the chain is right here. See that? You can see the chain is real loose. So what's happening as the engine is turning over, it's turning over this direction, and then this is slapping because of looseness of the chain. The chain link is coming down and rubbing right here, right on this edge of the oil pan, and through a long period of time, it wore right through. It's just a very small hole. You can actually feel a little piece of aluminum sticking down there, so it's been pushing and wearing for quite some time. So I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, maybe the chain is worn out. Well, that takes a lot of chain wear. You'd almost lose the chain before it would wear that much in order for it to slap. It's something else. Now let's go up top and I'll explain what the real problem is. Let's take a closer look at the chain on this engine. I've already removed the valve cover. As I said earlier, if the chain were so badly stretched by wear between the links, you would be able to grab the chain right here at the top of the sprocket and you'd be able to lift it off the sprocket, probably 1/4 of an inch, if that were the case, if it were the chain. But look at this. I can't even move the chain, okay? So I don't suspect this is the chain, but this is what I suspect is a problem. It's the tensioner, the chain tensioner, which is mounted right here, pushes through to a guide right there, is probably shot. Look at how easy it is to push back against the tensioner. See that? So I suspect the hydraulics and the tensioner are shot, allowing this chain to jump back against the tensioner as the engine's running. Now Mercedes must have known this was a problem because when they introduced a turbo diesel engine in 1978 in the US market, what they did is they put a ratcheting lock in the tensioner so the tensioner could come out, but it could only go back in just a little bit. Now I know I'm going to have to replace the tensioner. Now if you are testing the tensioner in your own car, don't be surprised if you have the engine sitting for a while and you remove the valve cover that you might be able to push back against the tensioner. Do this test right after you shut the engine off. Let me show you the new tensioner I'm putting on, and you can see the new tensioner I can push in. And what keeps the tensioner tight against the guide rail is oil enters this passage right under here, oil pressure, pumps up inside the tensioner and keeps it from retracting while the engine is running. So I suspect on this tensioner here, it's worn out internally. So when I replace the new tensioner, I think I'm going to solve the problem with the chain slap in this particular engine. But that's not going to solve the problem of how I'm going to fix the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start fixing the hole. I'm going to let you leave some feedback as how you think you would fix the hole, or what you think would be the best method to get that problem solved down below. And then I'll report back in about a week and let you know how my repair came out.